Chris Brown has filed a $500 million lawsuit against the producers who created the docuseries about him, calling him all kinds of words or names like the R word here. I'm honestly not surprised.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal.
What's up? Yes, Chris Breezy is back in the news again. He is back in the headlines again, but this time he's coming out and speaking. He's the one creating the headlines this time because he's sitting here saying that whatever was being said in this new docuseries that recently came out is all full of lies, and he has proven his innocence time and time again. And he says he is not what is written on that in that title right there, that he is not the R word. This is very interesting. Again, Chris Breezy has gone through a lot of stuff. He's dodged and had to deal with a lot of crazy allegations since after the Rihanna situation. We all know that situation. We all can't forget that situation. Okay, heartbreaking and terrifying situation. But since then, he has been kind of a target for a lot of allegations. And I'm sure it's been a very tough one for him. But these allegations have been coming out. And I don't know if they're ever going to stop. But there was a docuseries that was with Warner Brothers, okay? The WB. They came out with a new docuseries just a little bit ago with a Jane Doe that was basically saying that he R-worded her, that she was SA'd by him. Now, in the past, we've talked about this in other videos. He proved his innocence, not even just for the courts, because this particular case was dropped, and I think they're trying to bring it back up again. But what's interesting is he even proved his innocence to the court of public opinion as well, saying, hey, this woman is making a lot of things up. We got together. We had a good time. I was done. I didn't want to be with her anymore, but she was still very insistent on trying to be with me. Now, here she is in part of this docuseries, and I'm sure there's other things in this docuseries as well. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure there's other allegations being said in this docuseries. That's definitely, I'm sure, getting him in his feelings for sure. But let's take a look at this, okay? $500 million lawsuit, okay? Now, he is suing producers behind the investigation Discovery's Chris Brown, A History of Violence, or AKA ID. Okay, that's what some people call it, ID, all right? All right, so that docuseries, alleging the project is full of straight up lies. Okay, in this new court document, okay, the singer accuses WB, okay, Warner Brothers, Discovery, Ample, and other individuals behind the series of promoting and publishing defamatory claims against him, even after allegedly being provided with proof that their narrative was false. Like I just talked about a second ago. All right. Like I said, he did not only expose it, I'm sure, to the courts, but he also exposed that truth and that information to the court of public opinion. Okay. Not only does Brown state that the Jane Doe at the center of the docuseries has been repeatedly discredited, but he highlights he has never been found guilty of any S-related crimes, slamming the docuseries for labeling him a serial R word and an S-ayer. Yeah, that's crazy to be, you know what I mean? If you have no solid proof, that's kind of tough for sure. It's very, very tough, especially if it's someone that's stepping forward, saying all those things, but they've already been proven to have lied, or that though their claims to be unfounded. Yeah, I can see this being very, very frustrating and difficult and weird, because it would make you wonder, why would they still bring this person on if that case has been dropped or anything of that sort, right? If she's been proven to be not telling the full truth, it's something that's very interesting. That's all. Okay. He claims they based the docuseries largely on a lawsuit Jane Doe brought against him, adding she later withdrew the suit because it was full of lies. Again, if she withdrew because of that, and very well because of that, it doesn't make sense for her to hop on to a docuseries continuing to put out this narrative that has no merit or has no proof or backing behind it. See what I'm saying? So I could see this being very difficult. I can see this being very difficult, and I can see why Chris Brown did what he did, filing this lawsuit. Like I said, there's a lot of people that are going to be stepping forward with a lot of allegations on a lot of different superstars, a lot of different names and all that. And we're seeing that even with Diddy. There's a lot of people that are stepping forward and speaking out. All we can do, all of us that are consuming that information, is hope that they're all telling the truth. But there are going to be some people that are not telling the truth. Now, is that fully on the producer's side? Is that fully the producer's fault? Well, let's talk about that in just a second, okay? Brown says the producers and the Jane Doe chose to disregard fact in order to defame him and his reputation, which he says he spent over a decade repairing. Now, here's the thing. Here's a few things to put into consideration before we continue on, okay? That, let's be real. If there was information about, like, if they brought this woman on, they brought this Jane Doe on, this particular Jane Doe, obviously that particular case got dropped because it had no backing. There was no smoking gun evidence. As he says, according to him, it was full of lies. Now, it would be the responsibility of the producers to do their due diligence, to make sure that they have people on that are telling the truth, or at least put in a disclaimer before, middle, and after the interview, basically saying, hey, these claims are hers and hers alone. We brought her on to talk about X, Y, and Z. There is no proof so far, etc. Now, like I've said, I said, I've never seen the docuseries. Maybe they did put that information out there. Maybe they didn't. But that's still something I feel that would be extremely important to put out here to cover their own ass. Let's be real. But again, I think it's very important, and I think it is kind of sloppy to bring somebody on that got discredited, that got their case dropped. You see what I'm saying? Now, I get it. You want views, you want clicks. If it bleeds, it leads, as they would say. You want the salaciousness because that's what's going to get people over there to go check those things out. But in actuality, you can't be that sloppy, because then you get lawsuits like this coming your way. You got to make sure that you're covering your butt, because you could be saying all kinds of stuff. I could bring anybody on to a documentary to say anything I want, anything they want about a particular name. If it's not true, then it's not true. Or if it doesn't have any backing or smoking gun evidence, then I can see lawsuits coming this way like this for sure. So the singer claims he is taking accountability for his quote unquote past mistakes. Rihanna, like I talked about, okay? That whole thing, that's crazy, right? But he says he has grown from them and slams the history of violence producers for pushing an old narrative in the name of fame and fortune. Yes, this, I believe, is sloppy if you do not have smoking gun evidence. You see what I'm saying? Now, Brown says he's been directly impacted by this docuseries. It's taken a toll on his reputation, career, and business opportunities. So he's seeking $500 million in damages, which he partly plans to donate to the victims of SA if awarded. We reached out to Ample, and they've reached out to some people. So far, no word back. Now, listen, guys. Again, this is where it gets very, very hairy. Okay, when you have someone who is a name, someone who is a big time name, maybe they've had a tarnished past, and suddenly people come out and they start making claims, whether they're crazy or whether they are absolutely 110% true. You have to make sure you have everything lined up. You have to make sure you're doing your due diligence and you're bringing on people who are actually telling the truth. Now, here it is. I'm not sitting here saying that I don't believe this particular Jane Doe. All I'm saying is that if it's been proven to that those things did not have any backing, that the lawsuit got dropped, clearly it's an easy thought. It's an easy idea to sit there and go, hey, maybe it's time. Maybe it's not a good idea to bring this particular person onto the docuseries. It doesn't matter. Maybe you're just desperate to get somebody on with that kind of allegation so you can get a few clicks and a few views. But at the same time, what good is that? If that person is just not telling the truth, you're ending up in a situation like this where you're getting sued for $500 million. That's insane. Think about that. And that's the same thing with all these other docuseries that are out here. Let me be real. A lot of them are still pending lawsuits when it comes to Diddy. None of the people that we've seen so far that are these people who are stepping out for these civil lawsuits, none of them have been brought on after a lawsuit was dropped. This lawsuit was dropped for a long time before she came onto this docuseries. So again, it's kind of sloppy if you really think about it. And I could see this being very, very bad for Warner Brothers and the producers or any of the people that put this whole thing together. I can see his point. I definitely can see his point. If this was still a work in progress, or if this was still a lawsuit that was still going on, that would be a different story. But this thing was dropped because she had no proof. And that didn't work out for her. Coming onto this, is it really helping her out? Or does it just seem like she, again, optically, like she's a disgruntled woman or a disgruntled ex-lover? Something to think about. But again, $500 million for bringing on this woman, that's a very, very expensive mistake, in my personal opinion. But of course, what say you guys? Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Hit that like button down below. Crush that subscribe button, and we'll be talking soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
PASCAL. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.